Hi everyone, I made this video to help you to understand how spelling works in English, to try and make sense of it. English can be challenging in this regard because the sound that a letter makes is dependent on the word. For example, if we take the letter C, it's pronounced differently in each of the following words. So in cat and cup, the letter C is pronounced K. But in these words, in city and cycle, the letter C is pronounced S. And then in the word chair, the CH is pronounced Ch. The letter A is pronounced differently in each of these words. In apple, it's pronounced A. But in baby, the letter A is pronounced A. And then in the word swan, the letter A is pronounced O. So you can see that the letters are completely dependent on the word as to the sound they make. There are 26 letters in the alphabet, yet the English language is made up of 44 phonemes, and phonemes are speech sounds. Therefore, English does not have a 1-to-1 ratio of letters to sounds. It is not a phonetic language. That's why spelling is so challenging. A traditional way of teaching literacy is the one letter makes one sound method. This teaches that each letter of the alphabet represents only one sound. So A as in ant, B as in boy, and C, K as in cat. And it uses the ABC chart, or the alphabet chart, as its main tool, as seen in this picture here. However, this chart is very limited and it can reduce learners' understanding of the code of written English because it only teaches half of the 44 phonemes that make up the English language. If we only use the alphabet chart, it minimizes the range of words that learners can read and spell accurately. For example, if we use the ABC chart as a tool for spelling the following words, they will be spelt incorrectly. With the word said, if we used the ABC chart, it will be spelt like this, S-E-D. The word his would be spelt H-I-Z. And the word when would be spelt W-E-N, and they would all be incorrect. There is another way. A much more useful tool for helping students with spelling and pronunciation in English is the Thrash Chart. This picture below shows you the Thrash word chart. And this was developed by the Thrash Institute. What's great about this chart is that it contains all the 44 phonemes of spoken English and the most common spelling choices. So if you have a look at these red symbols across the top, these symbols are the sounds of English. They're not letters, they're the symbols of English. So this one here is B, and then the next one is K, and then Ch, D, F, G, H, J, O, M, N, and so on. So the top half of this chart contains the 24 consonant phonemes or speech sounds of English, and they're called the phoneme boxes, these boxes here. And the bottom half of the chart represent the 20 vowel phonemes or speech sounds of English. Now if we go back to the first box here, the phoneme box B, in each box there are words which represent the most common spelling choice for each of the phonemes in English. So for example, this is the B box. When you hear the phoneme B in a word in English, we usually spell it with one B as in bird or two B's as in rabbit. So this box gives you the most common spelling choices for this phoneme. Likewise, if we go to the K phoneme box, this box contains the most common spelling choices for the phoneme K. We can spell the K phoneme with a C like cat, with a K like kitten, with a CK like duck, with a CH like school, or with a Q like queen. And then if we look at the next phoneme box, which is the Ch phoneme box, whenever we hear the phoneme Ch, it's usually spelt with a CH like chair or TCH like watch. And then the D box shows you the common spelling choices for D, one D or two Ds. The F box, the most common spelling choices for F are one F like fish, two Fs like coffee, or PH like dolphin, and so on. So it's a very useful tool for getting to know the most common spelling choices for each of the phonemes of English. THRAS is an acronym, and it stands for Teaching Handwriting, Reading and Spelling Skills. THRAS teaches all the phonemes of English and their most common graphemes. But we need to understand what phonemes and graphemes are. So this is a video from YouTube that does that. Let's have a look.
There are two really important words that we need to understand when we're learning to read and write: phoneme and grapheme. Katie, what's a phoneme?
So a phoneme are the speech sounds that we hear when we speak. So in the word phoneme, I can sound out f, o, n, e, m. Phoneme, that is what I hear. So there are actually 44 phonemes in the English language. There are 24 consonants and 20 vowels. And there are 20 vowels. And they are the sounds that we hear when we speak.
So we've got phonemes are the sounds that we hear. What's a grapheme then? A grapheme is the spelling choice. So we've got here speech. Katie's chosen to use the letter S to represent the S sound. So a grapheme is the spelling choices that we make. Katie, can you give me an example of what this looks like when we're actually writing out?
Well, I can see up on the word phoneme and grapheme that we both have the sound f, as in dolphin, but you are not choosing to use the letter F. You are actually using the PH, making the sound f. So this phoneme is f, but the grapheme is PH that represents that sound. So in the word ant, I can hear a, n, t, but the graphemes that I write are a, n, t.
So you can see that different spelling choices will give you different phonemes. Let's take a look at another example. Katie, can you help me understand the phonemes in this word?
Well, if I sound this word out, I have b, a, b, e. But I can see you have the letter A in both of these words, but in this word the phoneme is a, but in this word the phoneme is a, b, e. But the grapheme that you've used is the same, it's the letter A. but it makes two different sounds.
It's really important that you remember and understand what a phoneme and a grapheme is.
A phoneme is a speech sound. It's what you hear. And there are 44 phonemes in spoken English. 24 of these are consonants and 20 of these are vowels. The symbols which represent the 44 phonemes of English are shown in the chart below. It is called the International Phonetic Alphabet, or IPA. So here it is, and you can see that this section here, which is surrounded by the yellow line, these are the vowel sounds of English. And it gives you a word to represent the sound. So we've got, this is the E sound, E as in see. Next to it we've got I as in his. And then we've got U as in put. U as in to. Underneath we've got E as in 10. As in ago. As in her, or as in saw, as in hat, as in but, as in car, as in hot. So these are the short and long vowel sounds of English. This section here, which has the orange outline, these are called diphthongs. And basically they are like long vowel sounds, but your mouth has two movements, so it's like two vowels joined together without a syllable. So this one is ear as in ear, a as in say, ua as in pure, oi as in boy, o as in so, air as in air, I as in by, ow as in now. So these two boxes together make up the 20 vowel sounds of English. The bottom half of the chart contains the 24 consonant phonemes of English. With these ones there are pairs of voiced and unvoiced. So if you look at the first two, this one is p as in pen, and that's unvoiced. And we add the voice and it becomes b as in book, t as in tea, d as in day, ch as in chair, j as in jam, k as in key, g as in go, f as in for, v as in very, th as in thin, v as in that, s as in sun, z as in zoo, sh as in she, zh as in vision. So those two rows indicate the pairs of consonants, unvoiced and voiced. The last row do not have pairs, and they're mostly voiced. So we've got as in man, as in no, as in sing. This one is unvoiced, h as in hat, as in look, as in red, w as in want, and y as in yes. So this chart is very useful for helping to understand how to pronounce words correctly. You can find these symbols, the IPA symbols, in dictionaries. When you look up a word, next to the word you will see the IPA symbols to indicate how to pronounce the word correctly. A grapheme is a spelling choice. It's what you see. And there are 4 types of graphemes in English, and this is really important. There is a graph, and that is a 1-letter spelling choice. A digraph is a 2-letter spelling choice. A trigraph is a 3-letter spelling choice. And a quadgraph is a 4-letter spelling choice. words in English are spelt with a combination of different types of graphemes. So let's take the word daughter, for example. This word has 4 phonemes: d, or, t, 4 phonemes in the word daughter. The first phoneme, d, is represented by a graph, the letter D. The second phoneme, or, is represented by a quadgraph, A-U-G-H, so 4 letters representing the or sound in daughter, so that is a quadgraph. The third phoneme, t, is represented by the letter T, and that is a graph, a 1-letter spelling choice. And the fourth phoneme, is represented by a digraph, ER, a 2-letter spelling choice. So you can see that this one word has a combination of different types of graphemes. It's got graphs, digraphs, and a quadgraph. Let's take a closer look at the phoneme box from a Thrash chart. So here we have the phoneme box B, and we have the 2 words that represent different spelling choices for B. Bird with 1 B, and rabbit with 2 B. So we've got a graph and a digraph. So this is the B phoneme box on the consonant side of the Thrash chart. When you hear the phoneme B in a word, it can be spelt with the graph B as in bird, or with the digraph BB as in rabbit. This phoneme box is the OR phoneme box on the vowel side of the Thrash chart. When you hear the phoneme OR in a word, it can be spelt with the digraph OR as in fork. It can be spelt with the graph A as in ball, with the digraph AU as in source, with the digraph AW as in saw, or with the trigraph OOR as in door. So to sum up, the Thrash chart is a phonetics teaching tool which is based on the 44 sounds of English. Each of the 44 phoneme boxes show the most common spelling choices for each sound, with example keywords for each of these speech sounds. The chart helps learners to recognize the spellings and sounds in words, and it teaches them about the 44 phonemes of spoken English and the 120 most common graphemes of written English. It's an approach that uses the Thrash chart to help learners read and spell words by analogy, such as with the word when. This very common word cannot be taught correctly using the ABC chart, but it can be effectively taught using the Thrash chart, as shown below. So if we want to spell the word when using the Thrash chart, we can say the W is spelt like W as in wheel, WH, E as in bed with an E, and N as in net with an N. Once the students have learned the Thrash chart well and have committed the phonemes and their corresponding graphemes to memory, they will be much better equipped to be able to read and spell words in English. I've written a couple of songs to help learn the words on the Thrash chart, and these can be found on YouTube. The first one is the consonant grapheme song, and that will help to learn all of the 60 consonant words on the Thrash chart. And then the second song is called the vowel grapheme song, and that will help to learn the 60 words on the vowel side of the Thrash chart. Finally, if you want to know more about Thrash, you can go to this site. It is called the Thrash Institute, and you can go to that website to find out more. I hope that has been useful, and thank you very much.